Good morning, traders. What is going on? How are you guys? Happy Monday. Who's ready? Who's ready for a great day? Good morning, Shez. How are you? Good morning, Joel. How's it going? Doing well. Had a good weekend. Soccer season started up, so we had our first soccer games this weekend. It was fun. It was hot. It was a really hot weekend, but it was fun. Good morning, Travis. How much longer are you on vacation, Travis? We're not going to be seeing you in the chat much longer. Saturday, one more week. All right, taking a look at the charts because we have the market opening here in about 6 minutes. Zooming out a little bit here. So my game plan today was if we hold above this like 600 to 640-ish level, I was looking for longs. So last night I was actually able to take a long off of that point of control bounce. And we've been ranging in this high volume node that I had marked off. So we do have a fair value gap up to this 822 level. So I'd be okay with taking a short if we like fill that fair value gap and we have a really strong rejection and we start to close back below this high volume node. But honestly, I mean, this is a pretty bullish chart. I kind of feel like longs might be the play. So I would rather see some sort of pullback, like maybe a liquidity grab, maybe back down to point of control, like down to 650-ish. If we see a pullback like down to here, I would definitely be interested in looking for a bounce for longs. So those are the kind of the scenarios that I'm watching because we are at a big area of resistance. This like 750 to 800-ish level is pretty big on the higher time frames. But again, I would wait and be patient for a pullback or a reaction before I take shorts because this is pretty bullish. I'm kind of leaning towards longs. But we shall see. We also have a no news Monday, which typically historically means kind of choppy price action, not super trendy. Tuesday, I don't think we have any red folder news tomorrow either. We really have nothing until Wednesday, Thursday when CPI and PPI come out. So it could possibly be a choppy day where it kind of just ranges in this zone, but we'll see. Do we have margin trading hours rules in prop firms? Yeah, I mean, most prop firms are, you have to close out your position at the end of the trading day, at the close of the session at 4 p.m. And then a lot of them have rules where you can't trade during big red folder news events, like CPI is a big one, FOMC, those kind of things. Most of them you can't trade during that time. But it's usually only like 1 minute before and 1 minute after, or 2 minutes before or after, depending on the prop firm you have. Everyone has a little bit of different rules. So it's best to check your prop firm rules. I know CPI is a pretty big one that some prop firms don't allow you to trade. So check your rules. Hey, Nick, good morning. I'm glad you got your trading view figured out. So we are coming up to the overnight high. Could be an interesting spot for a liquidity grab and then pull back. Depending on how the open happens, a pullback to find an entry long would be nice. But like I said, we do have this higher time frame fair value gap that would be at like 825. So we could also come up and reject that and get a pullback. If you zoom out to like the 1 hour chart, it goes up here to 822-ish. But we'll see. Market opens in about 2 minutes. Good morning, Maverick. Hi, Mama. Paul. Why did I just read Paula? Sorry, Paul. MX Fafo, how's it going, everyone? We are getting a little pullback after grabbing that Asia high and retesting it. Let's see if that continues once we open and then how far it actually goes down. All right, market's open. Morning, Renzo. Pretty choppy open so far. Kind of looks like it wanted to grab that Asia high liquidity and then reject. But it's still hovering right around that 800 level. Definitely looks bullish overall. I'd love to see a pullback though, so we're not having to chase it this high. We'll see though, if this thing does not pull back, like I said, this area at 800 is a big support. Well, we might be getting our pullback now. That was a pretty big rejection. But what I was going to say is if it reclaims this area, like if it has a strong breakout and then it retests that and continues higher, we could look for longs there too. So just staying patient at this point. Pretty choppy open. Yikes. Looking at the 1 minute chart, you guys, this is ugly. I mean, I did say it was a no news Monday, and I was kind of maybe expecting a choppy day, but I didn't expect something that was going to be ranging in a 20-point range. What is going on? Pretty ugly so far. All right, so like I said, we do have that fair value gap at about 820-ish. We can watch and see how it reacts at that level, if there's any sort of pullback. But overall, this range that we've been in all night, pretty much, there's lots of volume there. So I could see that holding as support potentially. Finally broke out of our little choppy range, but still not a ton of movement. Our opening range so far is 55 points. That's not much for NQ. On the higher time frame, I mean, if this holds, if 800 holds, we don't have much up until 900-ish, which is Friday's high. Kind of looks like that's where it wants to head. Here we go. Maverick trying to be patient this morning. There is no try. Just do it. Don't try. Just take your finger off the button. Yeah, well, my bias of longs is right. I don't want to chase this. I would like to see some sort of pullback. Good morning, G-Man. What's going on? Let's see how much of a pullback it gets. Like I said, this level here at like 750 to 800, lots of volume in that area, lots of support. I could see it holding, but it's also a really big range. So I don't necessarily want to take a long here and then have to put my stop loss like all the way down at the London low at 740. So gonna stay patient for a good entry. What do you guys have going on in the chat? Anyone taking any trades so far? Still a small range for the open. $75 points is what we're sitting at so far for the open. We still have 4 minutes until the 15-minute range is set, but still. Charles, good morning. How's it going? This open is definitely testing my patience. Because there's a small part of me that wants to take a short from here just to like go back to the bottom of the range. But then that would be way against the trend, and I feel like this 800 level could be good support. And I definitely don't want a long from here because I think there could be more of a pullback. Interesting spot. Uh-oh. That's not a good start to the morning, Shez. Did you oversize on that 25K account? Or were you already in drawdown and didn't have that much left anyway? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's tough. Like if you only have, a couple $100 left in drawdown or whatever, it's just like, all right, this trade is make or break it, I guess. Sitting and waiting, you guys. I don't like any trades right now. If I find a spot to enter long, I would love it, but I want more of a pullback. That dip down to the right at 800 wasn't enough for me because I could totally see it coming all the way down to like London lows eventually. So I wouldn't want to long from here. But also, I'm not feeling the shorts because sellers haven't shown up at all. And there's lots of support down here. So I don't want to short this down to the bottom of the range. But I don't want to long from here. So just waiting for a better level. We have any football fans in the house? I know a couple people in Discord were talking about how they were excited about opening weekend. Any of you guys watch football this weekend? I know G-Man was watching. You have 3 fantasy league teams to keep up with. Good thing the market's closed on the weekend. You wouldn't have time for all that. Oh, Summer. Travis, you're not a football fan? Summer's a fan. Summer, who's your team? MMA or hockey? Oh, you like the aggressive, like punching people in the face sports. That's funny. 49ers. Awesome. Are you in the San Francisco area? Multi-level skill sets. Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, they're very good athletes. I was just saying, you like the aggressive sports. I guess on some level, football's aggressive, but they also have a bunch of pads and like rules where they're not allowed to punch each other. Arizona. How'd you become a 49ers fan? I guess, does Arizona have a team? I'm trying to think. I don't even think Arizona has a team. So I guess maybe you just got to find one of the teams nearby, huh? Oh, they do? Oh, Cardinals. Yeah. I was going through the list in my head and it was happening slowly, so. Hey, Donna, how's it going? Well, dang, you guys, this is an ugly open. Super choppy and slow. Guess we can just talk about football until something fun happens. Grew up in Southern California? Okay. Me too. I was born in Newport Beach and went to school in Riverside. So that's kind of where I'm from originally. All right, we got a little break outside of the 15-minute range. Let's see if we get some continuation up or if this is kind of just a little fake out. Again, I don't love the idea of shorts because that would be against the trend overall. And there's lots of support down below at that 800 level. But we could pull back to that London low and get some more liquidity before going higher. Just staying patient. I don't like this choppiness. Oh man, you guys. It's kind of looking like it wants to go higher from here. Taking a look at the risk to reward on that, I would put my stop loss down below there. Probably take profit at previous day high. That's a 1-to-1 risk to reward. I don't love that. I'm still going to wait. Even if that means I miss a trade, I'm okay with that. Gonna wait for a good one. The pullbacks have been weak. If the market wants to be bullish, it'd be nice if it would just come down and like grab some of that liquidity so it can actually move, get some momentum. Still holding above that opening range high so far. It is a little break and retest action. That trade might end up working out. That's possible. In my journaling and backtesting, for me personally, the 15-minute opening range break trades work a lot better when there's momentum. So I personally am not taking this one. It's too slow for me, but it could be good if you guys want to take it. It is with the trend, and there's not really any resistance overhead until this 902, 903 level, yesterday's high, or Friday's high. And then after that, after 900, this whole area up here is really where the next high volume is. There we go. Looks like it's continuing. Anyone in the chat taking the opening range break trade? Not a bad one if you got in on that retest. It's moved up about 24 points so far. Pretty good. There you go, Summer. Yeah, looking good for continuation for sure. I've been trying to be more careful personally with the 15-minute opening range trades because my success rate hasn't been as good on them. So I'm making sure that it checks all the boxes before I enter. And that one just didn't for me. The risk to reward wasn't great. The volume wasn't there. But this one seemed to be working out a little bit. It'd be nice if it actually continued all the way up to where I personally would have put my target. Honestly, what I would prefer is a pullback so I can actually enter. There's been no pullback. Like, even at the open, it didn't come down to any of these liquidity areas. Coming down to 740 would have been a perfect entry. Didn't give us a chance. Yeah, I definitely prefer the initial balance setups over 15-minute opening range. That was an interesting spot for a pullback. It's retesting that opening range high again. Good morning, Mohammed. Well, is it going to hold and continue higher, or is this the pullback? I definitely don't like this opening price action, you guys. It's pretty ugly, honestly. Coming back down to New York anchored VWAP. Could be a spot for a bounce. I'm taking a small, what just happened? That was weird. It's like I took a long, but then it closed out. I didn't do that. Why does it keep doing that? What the heck? Does anyone know why it's doing that? On top one futures? Is anyone trading top one futures right now? I didn't put a stop loss down. I don't have a stop loss. I just hit buy market. I didn't enter stop loss. I don't have a stop loss on. I've never changed anything like that. What the heck? Risk settings and then what? Oh, Automatically apply risk and profit back bracket. Is that what it is? I've never seen that before. I'm going to turn that off. Well, that was it. That must be a new feature. If you guys are trading with Project X, check that out. Automatically apply the brackets. I've never turned that on before. Annoying. Yeah, I can see where it would be useful. That's actually a setting that I think is new. I heard Project X was recently adding it. I just need to change it to where it's not like right there. Good to know, you guys. Glad I figured that out, and glad I was using a small position size, so it was only $23 down. Jeez. All right, so entered long because it bounced off of VWAP. So this is one thing I do like about 15-minute opening range break trades. If it breaks out and then it comes back down and bounces off of VWAP, that's usually decent. I sized down though, because I do slightly feel like I'm chasing it a little bit because it's already so high and it never pulled back. It doesn't have to, obviously. Price can do whatever it wants, but I still feel like there's a chance it could pull back. And then target will be somewhere up towards Friday's high. Well, good. I'm glad you guys knew in the chat what was going on. I thought my platform was broken. I was like, what am I doing wrong? All right, 849.5 was where I entered. Now I'm curious. So you can make the risk automatically dollars. Can you change it to a number of points? I guess dollars would actually be better because that's kind of how I calculate it in my head. I try to adjust my position sizing to be like a certain amount of dollars risk. How did I not see this before? What the heck, you guys? I totally feel like I'm a newbie trader right now. Like, been doing this almost a year and I'm just now seeing that. Oh man, happy Monday. I need some more coffee. You guys are all probably laughing at how dumb I look right now. Oh, good times, good times. Learn something new every day. The brackets, the risk brackets. So I had never had them turned on before. And a couple of minutes ago, I was trying to enter a long and it kept closing me out. And then I would re-enter and then it would close me out. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with my platform? And everyone in the chat helped me out. I went into the risk settings and I had my position brackets turned on. And I've never used those before. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm going to go in here and play around with that afterwards. But you can make it so it automatically closes out your position at a certain profit target or a certain risk, a certain amount of loss. And I just figured that out today. And everyone in the chat's like, yeah, I've been using it for months. It's been there. I feel like such a blonde moment. Oh, this is so slow, you guys. I don't like it today. Definitely figured it was going to be choppy, but this is like a whole new level of slowness. Yeah, no news Monday. That has kind of become a thing. I hate to say that things are like guaranteed, quote unquote guaranteed, but I feel like pretty much every Monday that doesn't have news, you can definitely expect choppiness. No clear direction. We have like 20 minutes until our initial balance is set. So far, this is our initial balance high. I'm curious about volume compared to Friday, because Friday moved a lot. Yeah, look at this, you guys. So I think you can see it at the bottom of my screen. There's Friday's volume, like all of this way up here, and this is today's volume. And we only had the opening, 15-minute opening candle matched what was basically the first 2 hours of Friday's open. Since then, it's just died off. I don't like that it's coming back down. Not a good sign. This is not doing what I would have wanted it to do. Keeping that momentum up. It is dying for sure. No momentum at all. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is a tough day. It would have been super easy to get chopped up today. No continuation for longs or shorts, honestly. Part of me wants to just close this position early. Since it's starting to hold below this opening range high and retest VWAP again with not a good bounce. Kind of looks like it wants to go down. Yeah, I'm just going to close it. I don't want to be stuck in the chop. Let's see if it comes lower for a better like liquidity grab possibility for a long or something like that. Looking like it wants to pull back, but again, bouncing. I would love to see it come down to London low at 740, 23,740. That would be a good spot for London liquidity grab. And then also it's the bottom of this higher time frame, like high volume node that I have right around 740-ish. I feel like we could get a good bounce from there. There you go, Shez. 838. That's a good entry. Getting to the point where you could almost move to break even because this is starting to get pretty heavy. Looking aggressive. Finally getting some volume showing up here. We do have VWAP sitting down below us, so that could be a spot for possible support. And that's also the top of this high volume node at the 800 region. So if we're going to continue down lower to London low, we're going to have to get through that first. Oh my gosh, old Cracker Rail. I hope you're somewhat joking. But yeah, I can imagine it'd be tough not to have a supportive spouse. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, I can't really give you personal advice on that because my husband is very supportive. He's probably my biggest cheerleader, honestly. He believes in me more than I believe in myself sometimes. I'll have a day where I like 2 red days in a row, or like I blew an account or something where it's just a really bad trading day. And he's the one that's like, it's okay, try again tomorrow. So definitely thankful for him. But yeah, I don't know. If you have a spouse that's not supportive, I assume you have another job that's like bringing in income. So as long as you just stick to your rules and make sure you're only budgeting a certain amount towards prop firm challenges and you're not like overdoing it, and you still can separate yourself from the charts and like make sure you're spending time with her and all that. But if it's not affecting you guys, I don't see why you can't still do it. It's a dream that you believe in. Don't give up on that. Oh, man. All right, so we broke below the New York anchored VWAP, kind of getting a bounce at this 800 support level. Don't want to be taking any trades in the middle of this chop zone. I could see it continuing further down though, since it got below anchored VWAP and it's below point of control too. Old Cracker Barrel, just stay focused, keep doing what you're doing. And then when you start coming home with payouts, that'll change your mind. That's the best way to deal with that. Get a payout and then like go out to a nice dinner or a nice trip or something, depending on how much money you bring home. Then she might change her tune about it. Well, this would be a good spot to start rejecting and go lower. That was a really clean retest of point of control and VWAP. If it does continue lower, it's a matter of where it bounces. Does it bounce at session VWAP? Does it bounce at the 15-minute opening range low? Or does it come all the way down to grab this London liquidity? Or does it just break through point of control right now? Definitely a no trade zone for me. That is not where I would have expected the pullback to go to. But now it's moving. Initial balance is set in 3 minutes. So we could potentially look for a short from IB high or a breakout trend continuation if that's what's going to happen. But right now it's kind of just chopping in the middle of the range and I don't like it. That's a good question, Maverick. You know, you could ask Top Step support and see. Like, oh, on accident, I took my trade in my practice account and I meant to do that in my combine. Can you switch it over? Yeah, Shez, that was a really hard short. I honestly probably would have gotten stopped out for break even too. Because I would have at least had my first profit target down near VWAP. And it didn't even come there. So that's a tough one. And yeah, you could say that this is a choppy market, but then that buy up right there on that 5-minute candle, that's not choppy anymore. That was a huge buy up. But where did that come from? It didn't even come down to like a clear, clean level. It's not clean right now for me. We'll see what happens up here at IB High. Yeah, Nick, I did take one trade. I took a small loss. I think I'm down like $120. I took a long off of this 15-minute opening range breakout, and then it retested VWAP and bounced from there. So that's where I took the long and got stopped out. There you go, Maverick. Did you take a long off of that level? Oh, okay. In your practice account. Darn. So the initial balance is set. So once we get up here to IB High at 876-ish, let's see what happens. Almost coming up there. Kind of hovering a little bit. No, I'm not taking a long, Nick. I'm going to wait and see how it reacts at IB High. If we start to get a rejection from here, we could possibly take a failed auction. But I would like to see it maybe like break out of IB High first and then have some strong selling pressure to the downside if that's what's going to happen. Or if volume shows up to the upside and we get a strong break and then retest, I would enter long. So just going to see how it reacts up here first. Right now it's kind of just hovering. I'm going to start scaling in. Just took 3 contracts to start. Once we get confirmation that this is going lower, I might add to it. Looks decent. Let's see if it actually comes down to VWAP this time. This looks strong on the higher time frame. Man, you guys, it's not going anywhere. Hey, Sasmit. Not going great, honestly. I'm in my second trade and kind of thinking about just closing it up, calling it a day with a small red day. I don't like price action today. Yeah, no trade day for me. Probably was a good idea. Good call for you, Sasmit. My first trade, I feel like was a good loss. I'm not upset about it. It broke outside of the 15-minute opening range. I did not chase that one. I waited for the retest of anchored VWAP and a good bounce, and it broke out of the range again. So that's where I entered long. Took a loss on that one. And then this one, I'm in a short for a rejection of IB high. But honestly, there's no continuation for longs or shorts. Like, I'm in a short. There's people in the chat that are in a long. It's just choppy. No clear direction. Looks like it's coming from my stop. Yeah, Shez, you had a really good entry. So you definitely could have gotten out at break even. That was good risk management there. we'll see how this one plays out. If it hits my stop loss, that'll be my last trade. I would probably just set alerts at some of the levels that I'd be watching and see if it actually like moves to one of those levels. No, Nick, I got in short on the rejection of IB high. On this candle right here, the 9:30 Central 5-minute candle. That's where I entered short. Yeah, I feel good about it. Honestly, I feel like my days where I've had like crazy emotional tilt days where I just overtrade and oversize and revenge trade, like all that junk. I feel like I haven't had one of those days in a long time, which is good. I'm not saying that it's over, but I've gotten a much better level of control on it. So yeah, I feel like the first trade I took and the second trade, both of these are trades I would probably take again if it presented itself. So I'm okay with taking a couple losses. I would be down a little over $300 and then lock it up, come back tomorrow, see if tomorrow's PA is better. Yup. I think that's what's going to happen. Trump is talking. Was that on the calendar? I need to start checking Financial Juice like every couple minutes, because I checked this morning and there was nothing scheduled today. And now I guess he's speaking. He was scheduled at 10:10 Eastern time, which was 30 minutes ago. So is he still speaking or is he done? I don't know. Either way, I'm not going to take any more trades right now. So what I'm going to do is set some alerts for some levels that I would be paying attention to. I'm going to set an alert at previous day high, because if we get some sort of rejection there, I would be interested in that. And then, honestly, if it comes all the way back down to IB low, I know that's a long shot, but I would take interest at that level. So I like to set alerts like above and below price action. So I set one at previous day high at 903 and I set one at IB low. So if any of those levels get hit, that will just give me an alert to come check my computer and see what's going on. But other than that, I don't really want to sit and watch this chop, because I could make arguments for longs and shorts right now. Mostly longs, honestly. It looks like it's going up, but it's not pulling back to any clear levels that I would enter long on. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. I'm going to call it there. Tomorrow, I am not going to be live at the New York Open. I'm going to be taking my husband to the airport, but I will be doing Power Hour tomorrow. So around like 2:45 or 3 o'clock Eastern time is when I'll be hopping on tomorrow. But if you guys aren't already, hop in the Discord, join the Discord. We can share our trade ideas and levels and stuff there and support each other outside the streams. But other than that, you guys have a great day. Hit that like button on the way out too. It helps a lot. Your profit factor is at a 4 and your win rate is 0.8. That's actually great. 80% win rate. Over how long of a period? Is that like today or this a couple weeks, or how long of a period? That's actually really good, Nick. An 80% win rate is fantastic. I usually hover around like 60%, plus or minus a little bit. Yeah, that's really good, Nick. Very, very good. All right, guys, have a great day. I will see you in Discord.